Today I have for you 4 low-calorie, high-protein breakfast ideas to help you with weight loss or just maintaining a lean physique. It's something I've been doing for a few years now, eating these type of breakfasts, and it really helps out because, you know, it's cliche, but breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but in a way it kind of is because it can set the tone for the rest of the day. A lot of folks get into weight loss, especially with the new year coming up, thinking, you know, I want to drop however many pounds. And what a lot of people tend to do is you just go straight into skipping meals. You know, intermittent fasting is getting popular, a lot of people do that. But even if it's not that, it may just be a convenience thing. You gotta get up early, go to work, you just kind of skip breakfast, I'll eat later. And why that can be bad is because if you're trying to lose weight, you're probably gonna get hungry after you actually start losing it. You may not feel that hungry in the morning, but as you start to get towards that lunchtime, and I'm assuming a lot of people have 9 to 5 type of job, you're in an office, you get a lunch break, and that's kind of where we're going at from here, but this applies to anything. But let me know down in the comments, what type of job do you have and how does that affect your eating schedule? But if you skip that breakfast in the morning, then you start feeling hungry throughout the day, then you get to lunch and, you know, you go out to lunch with some friends, you get some fast food or whatever, and then you end up eating even more than you would have because you're getting hungry from doing weight loss, you're losing weight, so you're automatically gonna feel hungry. It's just no way really around that fact. But then you haven't eaten anything, so then that compounds, and when you get to that meal, you end up eating way more calories than you should have. And so what I'm gonna show you are these low-calorie, high-protein breakfasts that are gonna help you to feel full up until that time, so you don't feel like you have to eat a bunch of food when you get to that point of lunch and feeling really hungry. But also, you don't wanna lose weight, you wanna lose fat. If you lose muscle, that's bad, because then your metabolism's gonna slow down, and you're not gonna look a whole lot different because your body fat percentage will actually go up if you're losing muscle rather than fat. So the goal is to maintain the muscle, having a high amount of protein, or even possibly building muscle in the process. So without further ado, meal number 1, we have protein oatmeal, and I have a recipe on the channel of 450 calories and 32 grams of protein. It's really simple, and you might hear of like, oh, oatmeal, that's not that good. I used to not really like oatmeal because it was always really plain, but this recipe I've been eating a lot for the last few months, and it's super easy. It's why I really like it. You could take the banana out of it and it'd be closer to 350 calories with still that 32 grams of protein. There's all kinds of different ways you can do this, and that's what I like about it. If you get tired of the peanut butter and banana or whatever, because it is really good with just the peanut butter. I did that for a while, and I started adding a banana. But I have a strawberry cheesecake protein powder I make, and then throw in some actual cut up strawberries in there, because bananas are higher in calories compared to other fruits, so you can have a lot more strawberries for the same amount of calories. And just fill up a bunch of fruit in that, blueberry versions, all kinds of stuff. So you find a protein powder you like, tastes good, you mix it in with that oatmeal, it works out really well. So lots of options there, a great way to start a breakfast. It's gonna keep you full for a pretty good amount of time up until lunch. Next up is what a lot of people refer to as the anabolic French toast. And you might think, French toast, I can't have that type of thing, that's high in calories. And if you go to a restaurant like Cracker Barrel or IHOP or those other breakfast places, it probably is. Most of them are probably gonna be between 500 to 1200 calories for serving a French toast. But what we have here on the channel in a recipe video is 450 calories and 45 grams of protein in 3 pieces of French toast that has some Greek yogurt on it, which kind of sounds weird, but once you try it, it's actually quite good. And then some fruit on it, strawberries, blueberries, really whatever type of fruit you like. And a lot of people might think, oh, I gotta be careful with carbs, you know, that's a high carb, all that bread, but you gotta look at it in relation to the total meal. There's a lot of protein in that, so it balances out the carbs and all that. The glycemic load isn't high because it's not just carbs you're having. There's a lot of other good stuff in that. So recipes on the channel for that. That is one that will definitely keep you full. I used to eat 4 pieces of it, those 600 calories, but then I was just starting to feel sick. I didn't need that much food, and I dropped down to 3, and it is still plenty. I could probably go with 2 and be fine now, but you could eat it without the Greek yogurt and have another piece of bread. It lowers the calories, you know, depending on what you want, just figure it out. And it's definitely a good one to go to. And you can make a whole week's worth of this stuff. I used to do that a lot. And I'd put it in the fridge, and then I just grab a few pieces out, throw it in the toaster, and then it doesn't take long, you know, while you're getting ready, then you come out, eat, you're good to go, and it's not gonna take that much time. So that once again, when you get to that lunchtime, you're not gonna feel super hungry, and you can just eat a normal type of meal. And speaking of going out to fast food places, a lot of people make the excuse that, well, you know, I'm going out to eat with people at work, all this stuff, I'm eating fast food all the time, it's unhealthy. That is true, fast food typically isn't healthy, but I have a lot of videos on the channel as well, linked somewhere on here, that I go through and show different restaurants with the lower calorie options that have a good amount of protein in most cases, Krispy Kreme didn't because it's pretty much all sugar in the donuts. But you can eat out only fast food and still stay within your calorie limit. You just gotta think a little bit ahead of time and make good choices while you're there. And it's a lot easier to make those good choices when you're not really hungry from fasting all the way up until lunchtime. So that breakfast, once again, is important. And the next breakfast we're coming to are some egg white omelets. Now these are some of the best options. My lowest calorie one that I've made the recipe for on the channel is only 215 calories with a whopping 34 grams of protein. So, you know, if you don't want to have a whole lot of food, but you do want to get a good amount of protein in, that's barely more than a protein bar. A lot of protein bars are more calories than that, but it's a pretty big egg white omelet. Tastes really good. You've got peppers, cheese, meat, all that good stuff in there, and you're good to go for the morning. But I also have another one that's a little bit higher in calories, 325, like that's really a lot of calories, but it has 48 grams of protein. It is a chicken fajita omelet I came up with. It's got some salsa on it, grilled chicken, a lot of good stuff in it. So definitely check those out if you like omelets. Those ones do take a little bit more time. So, you know, maybe if you had the French toast or the oatmeal that you're having on a daily basis, you know, the omelet's something for the weekend when you have a little bit more time to make the breakfast. Definitely highly recommend, one of my favorites. And that brings us to the number 4 option, and that is my peanut butter and banana protein pancakes, and these things are good. Once again, they take a little bit longer to make, so maybe it's one of those weekend favorites you'll have, but this is 685 calories and 58 grams of protein. Now, you might think, whoa, 685, that sounds like a lot compared to all those other ones that are in the 400s or less. But that is also for 3 pretty thick pancakes. And you could go with only 2, it's still a good amount of food. I've got a recipe for how much you need if you want for a stack of 3 or a stack of 2. And the stack of 2 is only 460 calories with 38 grams of protein. So it's pretty comparable to what you're getting in the protein oatmeal. And the thing with protein pancakes, it's really hard to get it right because they can turn out really dry or just not have a lot of flavor, not be fluffy. A lot of them are really thin when people use oatmeal for the flour, but this recipe are nice and fluffy. If you follow it right, you'll get them off before they get dry, and it is quite good. But all those 4 recipes are the things that I go to usually for breakfast, and I kind of cycle through them. I've been having the oatmeal for months now just because it's a really simple, easy one to do, and it tastes good, and you can easily change up the flavor if you get tired of whatever kind you want, or it's easy, just depending on what you have. We might have strawberries in the house or some bananas or blueberries. Depends on what the kids get into because they tend to eat a lot of fruit. Whatever's left, I just throw it in there. There's always all kinds of other ingredients. You can add almonds. But then, you know, I'll get on a French toast kick and, like I was saying, cook a whole week's worth at once and then have that for a week and then have something different the next week. And change it up as you want, see what you like, and then, you know, it's a good way to get you going. And this stuff also works if you want to go on a bulk, and that's the great thing. When it comes to bulking or cutting or whatever, I still eat the same foods. Say I was gonna bulk with the pancakes, I could just use regular peanut butter on it instead of PB2, and then you're adding a couple hundred calories right there to your meal. Or you could use regular syrup instead of sugar-free syrup, and that's an easy way to add a lot of calories. If you're making the omelets or even the French toast, you could use the whole egg with the yolk that has a lot more calories, a lot more fat in it, and then you're eating the same foods and then just adding more calories in that way. So if you're bulking, then you're going up, and then if you want to cut weight, well, instead you can use the egg whites or use the powdered peanut butter, and those little substitutions are what's going to make a big difference in your diet depending on the results you want. And you eat the same thing so that it's not like, oh, I'm gonna bulk, you know what, I'm just gonna eat junk constantly, and then, oh, when it's time to cut, I got to go back to eating really clean. You just keep the same lifestyle and change the ingredients a little bit. That's why it's important to find what you like, and then it's gonna work out for you. So the hardest part of a diet isn't the dieting, it's when you get to the end. You gotta learn how to maintain that new weight where you're at. And so if you just keep eating the same stuff and just change the ingredients some, best way to do it. But I hope that was helpful. I got all those videos linked down in the description. Hopefully it can help you out. Really good recipes. Let me know what you think of them. And at Camber Fitness, that's Instagram, and I post pictures, videos of different meals and stuff like that too, as well as workouts and all that. Lots of stuff on the channel. Hope it'll help you out. I'll see you in the next one.